The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Welcome to the March 4th edition of One Nation Live. James, what's going on, man?
Not too much, just ready to get into it. I ain't got too much to say to y'all.
Yeah, man. So we're back with another episode. We did one, I want to say, what was that, Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday.
And that was a very thorough show, like as far as figuring out, you know, everything going towards the future with WWE, what happened at Elimination Chamber, and cover the week. And this one is not that. So I don't know.
Maybe we were a little too thorough.
Yep. We did have a couple things happen in the world of wrestling this weekend, and also you know, we got some questions. Shout out to Dion, who helped us out a great deal. This is the, you know, when we do these live shows, we listen to Bomani Jones a lot. So during the dog days of summer, when there's not a ton to talk about, this is the part where the listeners, you guys, do y'all job. Y'all do y'all half to help the show out. Or else, what we doing this for? This is a two-way thing. We give a little, y'all take a little. Y'all give a little, we take a little. You know, working in conjunction, a partnership, everything like that. So today is going to be that. So we welcome all your questions in the comment section.
Yes. This is our time for us to take. It's time for y'all to feed us an arm or a body part so that we can go to work on it.
Yes. And you know, we can use some of that good psychology and everything like that. But yeah, so let's get it popping. So Brock Lesnar went 30 seconds at a house show, James, in the latest attempt to get people angry about Brock Lesnar and bend over backwards to get Roman Reigns cheered. This is quite a unique approach, apparently. Did you happen to hear about this story, James?
No.
Okay, so Brock Lesnar,
So who did Brock beat in 30 seconds?
So he fought Kane. So they were in the United Center, and they haven't been there for a really long time. Like, usually when they run Chicago, they do the Allstate Arena. Shouts out to all our homeboys in Chicago, Simon, Gerard, Jared. If any of y'all were at the show, let us know in the comment section. But yeah, they brought Brock Lesnar's ass out there. He came out there with that red belt, got punched in the corner a couple times, and then he got the advantage, got Kane off him, put Kane on the shoulders, F5'd him, got out of there in 30 seconds, and apparently fans were furious. There's a video that's going around right now, and it's like, man, we paid for this? Yes, you did. They did get a main event of Roman Reigns and John Cena, but this is the new strategy, it looks like, that they're using to get people pissed about Lesnar so Roman Reigns can be the conquering hero. James, what are your thoughts on this?
I find it interesting. It's a lane to pick. Given the problem that they did with Roman on Monday, I think that to continue on with that story of it being that Brock is this guy that does what he wants, and therefore you shouldn't cheer for him because I'm the guy that's actually here every single week busting my ass, as opposed to this guy that doesn't give a shit. It's a story to tell from a meta standpoint and behind the scenes thing. Like, I mean, there's a lot of lights of shimmering lights of truth to that. There's some rays of truth to that. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to work come WrestleMania time when he shows up and gets booed out of the building, Roman. But but at least it's better than what they did 3 years ago, where it was just
nothing.
It was pretty much next to nothing. I remember there being a face-to-face meeting when they got snowed out the night after Royal Rumble 2015.
Yeah, when God canceled Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, and they went face-to-face, and they also did a thing with Rollins and also with Daniel Bryan, but other than that, they really didn't do much. I mean, other than Heyman doing the crazy, Roman Reigns is better than The Rock, Austin, Bruno, Hogan, all that. So at least they're selling the fact that this is a grudge match and it's quote unquote personal or it's getting there. So it's a nice direction. And honestly, I mean, off the top of my head, I couldn't think anything else they could possibly do that would be better than this right now. Mm-hmm. So hats off to them for at least going with the best strategy for now. Now, do I think in a couple of weeks they're going to have to pivot because the fans are going to reject it? It's a possibility, but we'll see.
So before we go any further, I just want to say, Keeping It Strong Style, also on the Social Suplex Podcast Network, they are running a contest for the New Japan Cup. If you can guess the most accurate bracket, you will win a wrestling t-shirt of your choice. Their contest ends at 4 p.m. today, so if you want to participate in that and get a t-shirt for the free, courtesy of Josh or Jeremy, hit one of those guys up in their inbox, fill out your bracket for the New Japan Cup. They're ending their contest today at 4 p.m., so you got a little bit, you got about 90 minutes or so to get them a bracket. I put out a video yesterday, I guess, that there was some problems with, and I went ahead and took mine down, but I do have my bracket. I've got Tanahashi going over Ibushi in the finals, and a couple, and Naito going out in the first round as my shocker. I think that I'm reading some of these comments from Simon right now, and if you guys can share this audio on your timeline, we can get more people in here rocking and leaving comments and all that. But yes, James, we had a question that came from Jordan Fox. He said, do you think this is going to get Roman cheered at WrestleMania? You touched it on a little bit. As far as what I think, no. They are clearly doing this to reach out to a certain portion of the fans that people they swear don't matter. And I think what they're doing now is they're bending over backwards to create a fake situation to shoot on. Rather than letting the shoot come from kind of real events, because we know Brock Lesnar didn't walk out of Raw. That happened a couple years ago, but that's not what happened now. It's only a matter of time before the real stories come out, and once those real stories come out, the cheers that happened from the, it's a sugar rush, essentially. So, when that sugar wears off, it's about to be a crash, I feel like. Would you agree, James?
Yeah, and to be fair, we've had this before, where Roman does something to actually get himself cheered, but it was just a certain act, and you go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, and he's not any more over than he was at the time. Case in point, when he beat the holy hell out of Triple H at TLC 2015, when he punched out Vince and won the title on Raw in January of 2016. He's had moments of where they actually get him over for a night or for or maybe 2 weeks, but eventually it just wears off, and it goes back to the crowd resists him. Think of his matches. He has a lot of good matches and a lot of great matches, and by the end of the night, people will pop for the spear, and then go to next week, and it's as if it never even happened. So this is the reality where they are. They basically decided that no matter what, that guy's going to be the top baby face, the top star of the company, and Regardless of whatever happens, that's going to be the case. And like it or love it, that's the reality. And either you watch it or don't, or cheer for it or don't. They still going to do what they want to do.
Awful.
And to be fair, like a lot of the Roman stuff has been good as far as in the ring. So like for me, like that's what I care about more than anything else. So I don't really like it stinks that the dude gets booed because I think he's really good, but it is what it is. And clearly he's improved on the mic as far as delivering promos.
Yeah,
but
there is
they
that.
still try to hide him. They only bring him out for once a feud to come out here and do this. So we'll see. Like maybe he gets to a point where they start to notice that he's gotten better and they start handing the mic more and maybe give him a chance to actually try to get himself over, because I think that's probably the biggest thing people still hold over him is that he can't talk. And given what he's done the last with the CU Sunday movie star promo against Cena and the work shoot thing he did on Monday, like he's knocked two of them out the park in a row.
Right. Yeah, so let's go to some of these comments in here. Simon says it was 2 suplexes and an F5, and that was the second match for Brock Lesnar in 2018. I think Brock is like right in the middle. If you look at what Lesnar did from WrestleMania 33 to this current point, so you've got Samoa Joe in July, which the bill was great, match was just got the SummerSlam main event, super car crash. Not really affecting anything. It was just, 4 guys in there. Really good match, though. You got No Mercy mailed in with Strowman. You got the match with AJ Styles, which is probably his best performance since, I don't know, the CM Punk match, maybe? Or WrestleMania 31?
Yeah.
WrestleMania 31, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it... Lesnar's gonna give you a real mixed bag, and then Royal Rumble mailed that shit in as well, and he clearly mailed it in here. Like, but this is a booking directive that they're doing here. So, Dion says it shows how much Brock doesn't care about his character. Correct. Brock is here for the check. He doesn't like. That's the love of the business, the love of the game. Nah, that's not him. Wrong guy. He's not gonna be out here like Bret Hart. Giving a fuck. So, and say what you want about Bret Hart. I think you said this to me yesterday, James, but Bret Hart gave a fuck. Simon,
right, you can say what you want about Bret as far as when he was still WWF, as far as taking himself too seriously, and you're going to beat him with roll-ups, and he always, like, beat the hell out of people, and you can see certain things happen where it's, like, clearly that person relationship with him is the reason why he actually gave that dude a chance. But you can say what you want to, but compared to now, like, at least he gave a shit. Yeah, absolutely. And you can look at you can see the clear line from like the second he showed up in WCW and WWF, as far as like Bret when he cared and where he was, and Bret after, and like the kind of uneven performance he gave in WCW in the ring.
Yeah, like, if you guys never checked out Bret Hart in WCW, it's really interesting, because sometimes he'll come out there and get a guy that he wants to work with, but then, like, you'll see this look on his face, like, I'm doing this for nothing. Like, they're never going to do anything with it. Like, when he's wrestling Booker T, it's like, yeah, he's having fun, he's being a heel, he's doing it, whatever. They do the match, and then I think he lost by roll-up, if I'm not mistaken. He lost the same finish that he lost to British Bulldog in SummerSlam 92 with. He basically had this look on his face after, like, it was half shock, but it was also half like, man, that was good, and I know they ain't gonna do nothing with it.
Yeah.
So, Simon says Roman Reigns this week. He's gonna sit down Indian style at the top of the ramp, I assume. And say, I don't hate you, Brock. I hate this idea that you're the best. Like, they're just gonna, crib CM Punk's whole thing there. Dion says they're trying to get like Booker T and Corey Graves. Yeah. If you gotta sell your WrestleMania main event doing that, I don't know, bro. Roman Reigns the week after that. We're occupying Monday Night Raw until Brock Lesnar gets his ass out here.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
That's terrible.
Dion says it's almost like Clinton versus Trump. Who is the lesser of both evils? I don't know.
I'm not getting into that with y'all.
Yep, not today. Simon says, the week after next, this isn't Roman Reigns talking to Brock Lesnar. This is Joe and I speaking.
Wow.
Oh, man. Simon coming through in the clutch. Dion said, what if Braun is added to this match because of Reigns' steroid allegations or because WWE feels that we don't give a fuck? I don't think we have to worry about WWE thinking we don't give a fuck because they're going to do what they want, as James mentioned. But what do you think about Braun being added to this match, James?
Braun being added to the match, I mean, it gives it a different element of the potential car crash or something spectacular happening. As far as the actual wrestling, it drops the level of the quality of the match. I will say this: if Braun's not in the match or added to the match, I don't know what Braun's supposed to do at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, like that match will kind of like, even in the build will be kind of, his absence will be like noticeable. It's like, this dude has been this guy that's dominated throughout the year. This is a guy that like beat the hell out of Roman Reigns all throughout the last calendar year, and he's just moved off to the side.
Yeah. Move around for the South.
Yeah, so and people have talked about this, about he's kind of right now he's a plan B in case something goes down with Lesnar or Roman or whatever. Yeah. But I wonder how much of that is just like how much of that is them actually believing that the company, Vincent, the brain trust actually believing it. How much of that is like you just see what's out on TV and you see like, well, he is kind of in limbo, and you also know what's limbo. I said limbo. You know what's in limbo, and you also see what is kind of like hanging around Roman right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's like for me, I wouldn't want Braun added to this match because it's kind of not his match to have anymore. They did the SummerSlam main event with Samoa Joe in it, so that's kind of even like a bigger match. You're kind of diluting the plan, and I want them to get this plan over as soon as possible. This Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match that they have set their hearts on for so long, I am just like ready for them to just like get it over with at this point. And seeing, Braun, like, I feel bad for Braun Strowman. Don't get it like fucked up or anything, but Strowman, I don't think he's gonna make the match any better. He might make the build a little more exciting, but at the same time, it's causing confusion, and enough confusion has been caused. We're already confused enough, and with Strowman being added, it takes away, quote-unquote, Reigns' moment. They will be tempted to do some shit like not have Brock be the one get pinned, which would just be a disaster. If Brock Lesnar goes... I'm so glad there's no Money in the Bank briefcase hanging over this time. It's like, just fucking get it over with.
Yeah, I can see that. But we're still... Here's the thing, if, and I, for the most part, I agree with you. That I really do think that just get it over with and do it. But what will be your plan for Strowman if that's the case?
I think Strowman, like, he needs to just kill somebody. Or there was an idea out there that he should be the guy that eliminates every single person from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not really a fan of that, but it seems like, if you want to do a situation where if everyone's taken up on Raw, you can bring out a Raw versus SmackDown match and say, yeah, we're sending Braun Strowman as our monster. Who the fuck y'all got on y'all side, SmackDown? And maybe you give that match to Rusev, and you have those two super over guys like go at it. And if Rusev loses, they've beaten Rusev enough kind of while his whole Rusev Day shit is going. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think that might be a unique match that you could do to not only reward Rusev, but reward Strowman as well. We get another bomb-ass Rusev WrestleMania entrance, which I need in my life. And then, who knows what Braun Strowman's WrestleMania entrance is going to be. It might just be him walking to the ring, but who knows? Like, what do you think about that, James?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just weird. Like right now, like the way Strowman has been built up, that it's really just like to anything underneath, anything that's not a top title match seems like is beneath him right now. Like it just sounds wrong. Like, and I'm not saying necessarily he's like 2014 Daniel Bryan, but it's like, what else is there to do that you can tell this is actually like a storyline that people will actually like accept besides like him and being in the title match? It's in a weird spot where they did this, where like they spent a whole year, or actually 15 months, or since the Sami Zayn thing, where they've built this dude to actually like become, like they built this dude about as well as anybody they've built in like the last few years, or maybe better than anybody. And then now, even better than Roman, a lot better than Roman. And now it's like, do you want to reap rewards of the good work you've done? Nah.
We want to roll this shit over and delay it. Like, I don't know what they're rolling weird. It over to.
Like they should be literally like, they should be in the back in the control room or whatever you want to call it, the gorilla position or whatever else, like at the end of WrestleMania, or like just basically like pat themselves on the back, congratulate themselves, like throwing babies in the air, hugging each other about how well they've done with Strowman and everything, and him going out at the end of the night getting cheered as a guy that they made a actual babyface gets cheered and everything else, and actually over. And they don't want that. Like they want
nah.
Like
we want Roman.
Yeah, like they're literally like the Rocky. They're pretending like it's like Rocky 4. There's no easy way out. No, there is. Strowman, just go with him.
Yeah, man.
Like it always has to be hard. It can't ever be easy. It can't ever be layups. It always has to be 18-foot contested jumpers. Like it's so weird.
Inefficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just take the bird in the hand. I don't get it.
They want to settle for the double team long two, apparently.
Ugh.
Yeah, man. And I've seen plenty of those. I've seen plenty of those work out, but you almost wish that it was a little easier. But yeah. Moving on from the whole Lesnar thing. Actually, let's go back to the comments. We got some more. Dion said they better not have Braun host a show like New Day last year.
Oh my God!
What if the whole thing was Braun Strowman just walking around WrestleMania fucking shit up the whole time and interacting with legends and doing everything?
Bro, unless he flips over the whole stadium, I don't care.
Yeah.
Unless they have Roman win and then like Strowman comes down there and like flips over like the ring.
So you got one more match.
The whole like apparatus. What do you call that? The whole like canopy apparatus over the top of it. Actually, that actually is indoor stadiums. They don't even have that this year.
Yeah.
Like unless he flips over the ramp or the whole production ramp stage or everything else, I don't care.
Bro.
Like flip over the whole Superdome for all I care. That's the only thing that will satiate me as far as him not winning the title right now. I don't know. There's really, it's from a storytelling standpoint, like it's just not there for Roman and Brock as far as like this is the path they were supposed to go down and ended up with. Like this is the reason why the folks that we were not arguing with, but the people that were just wrong on saying like dead set that well obviously Strowman is going to
WrestleMania.
Because it's like, it was so obvious that that's the guy they're supposed to choose. And, like, I feel like I'm harping on it now, but, like, this whole Roman shoot promo thing is only thing they got going to make this Roman thing even sound like it even makes any sense for them to even have him come back to challenge for the title.
Crazy, man. But, yeah, let's move on. What's up to Tyler that's tuned in? the spot that happened in TNA. Now, we don't talk about Impact Wrestling very often at all. What's up, brother Caleb? He will defend Impact to the death. But
yeah, even against all reason.
So I think what happened. There was a situation. Eddie Edwards, a guy, wrestler, was in the ring, and he was getting into it with Sami Callahan. And Sami Callahan had this spot where they were going to put a folding chair over the neck of Eddie Edwards while the ass portion of the seat was kind of like over his face, and he would use the baseball bat to hit the ass portion of the chair, and that would create the quote-unquote strike to hit his neck. This dumbass whiffs on the damn the ass part of the chair, and he connects with Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards, he hits this guy in the face with a full swing from a real baseball bat. Was that bat aluminum, James?
I don't know. I do not know. All I know is that shit had to hurt so bad, and that dude's lucky that he didn't lose his eye, or mess up his face so badly that he didn't have to retire. I don't know how in the world that you could be a wrestler to make it on television and be at point blank range, and a seat is 18 by 18.
Yeah,
something like that. You're right there at point blank range, and either you just didn't care, you were so nonchalant, or whatever, wasn't focused enough to where you missed the freaking or you missed the swing on a stationary target, which is strike one, and then follow through and still hit this dude in the face, And I mean, I understand the whole thing of shit happens in the ring and people get hurt, and the old school mentality, if someone gets hurt, you don't apologize in front of people. You basically sell it as yeah, I'm fucking dangerous.
I meant to do that.
Next opportunity comes, I'm gonna do it to one of you fucks, so you better not mess with me. I'm a bad motherfucker. But I don't know how. I would love to know the repercussions for that act, because that is something to where I don't want to say something has to something, if there is somebody that's backstage managing this or whatever, to protect the whole locker room, you have to make some type of example out of him. That's ridiculous. That's the best I can put it.
They need to bring back wrestler's court for that man or something.
Oh God,
figure that out. I thought it was stupid. It was dangerous. Simon says it was a broken orbital socket. That was the injury that he suffered. I don't want any kind of orbital anything broken on my body. Dion Murphy said Braun's recent attempted murder cases on Raw had nothing on that.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on. Next thing that we want to talk about, we got a bunch of questions lined up coming in right now. So before we get to those, who do you think is getting shafted the most out of the full-timers this year, James? If it's not Strowman, do you think who else, if we were to look at Raw and SmackDown right now?
Let's see. If I were to pick a woman right now, I would say Sasha.
Oh yeah.
I think she's gonna get left off the card.
They got main event of the pre-show written all over them.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. For the men, that's hard to say. If it's not Strowman, trying to think someone on SmackDown is getting screwed over. I mean, I could say Kevin Owens, because I don't know what the hell Kevin Owens is doing. At least right now. Maybe I'm sure it'll reveal itself after the pay-per-view or even by the pay-per-view. But if he's going to be in a tag team with Sami Zayn or whatever, and do the whole be in a match with New Day and the Usos, and maybe even the I almost call them the Patch Brothers, this is the Mighty Ducks, but the Bludgeon Brothers, then I would say Kevin Owens is getting the Ross deal out of everybody else, because that dude is one of the 3, 4 biggest stars, individual stars in the company on the full-time roster.
It's a huge building block. You got a guy you made WWE champion that looked like he ain't gonna sniff the card. Look, now I'm not advocating for like Jinder Mahal or anything. It just looks stupid on its face, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, but I mean, we talked about this even even before he lost the title. It was like, watch him lose the title before WrestleMania, and then like WrestleMania season comes around. After this dude was champion for like 6-7 months, they're gonna pretend like he's gonna go right back to being a geek, and that's gonna be the biggest. That's gonna be one of the more infuriating things about it is, like, you invested all this time into somebody, and then basically you knew when it was time for the time of the year when people were actually give a fuck about your product, for you basically to hide him and pretend that like he was a jobber all along. It's like, what kind of Jedi mind trick is this? Like, we told you he was a jobber when you did this whole thing at the end, going into the summer, and you watch your ratings crash. You watch like attendance crash on this dude's watch. Like, you knew this was a bad idea when you did it. Why did you do this?
I'll never. I think there needs to be a 30 for 30 written about that shit. Like, from like the day of WrestleMania till like the day he loses the belt. Like, I think there needs to be like a 30 for 30 documentary on that shit. Like, who decided this? I want Jinder interviewed. I want Vince interviewed. I want Road Dogg interviewed. I want the wrestlers interviewed. I want fans interviewed. Everybody, because this is just going to be one of the more fascinating stories that we'll probably ever hear about in wrestling. Because it's like, you don't take a dude from obscurity, put the fucking world belt on him, and then he's gone before the next WrestleMania season comes around like nothing ever happened. So, if it was me looking up and down, I mean, Randy Orton looks like he's aged in 5 years. I think I mentioned that last week. But it would be odd if he didn't have a match on WrestleMania, or he was in a Battle Royal. I think you got to look at Rusev. You don't get that over for to be left out. The point of the business is to get over and to make money, and I think Rusev is doing both with his merch and also the goodwill he's creating among fans. Dion Murphy said Jinder was the definition of a transitional champion. I would agree, Dion, but he held the belt so long, it was like, I don't know who he was transitioning it to, because AJ Styles was already a star. Like, like AJ Styles, they put the belt on him to save him, and strangely, they haven't protected AJ Styles as well as they've protected Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
As champion.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, like, really strange to me. Sami Zayn has been incredible throughout the year. I think he deserves a spot also on the show, but you never know how these things are going to work out. You got to have Triple H wrestling. You got to have Undertaker show up. You got to have, luckily, they're in one match like Cena and Undertaker, but I mean, I'm not sweating to see that match. I don't know about any of y'all, but if I was to look at Shane, he might mess around and end up in a match. You never know. I still feel like that.
Oh, Shane's gonna have a match.
Like, I don't know how they get through another WrestleMania season and Shane not have a match. So it just comes down to, do they want to have him fight Sami Zayn this time? Do they want to have him fight Kevin Owens again? I mean, after you do a Hell in a Cell with somebody, I don't think you really need to fight him again, but unless it's a special situation like the Usos in the New Day, when you're uncorking legendary shit by the moment.
And you've been away from each other for like 2-3 months.
Yeah.
Like, Shane and Kevin Owens have been fucking with each other since what? Since SummerSlam. No, like, actually since like July.
Yep. Yeah. So
nonstop.
It's like, what y'all really doing with it? Why y'all playing with me? If I was looking at the Monday Night Raw side, I think you got to look at, if it ends up in a 3-way with Balor, Miz, and Rollins, it's unfortunate for Rollins, I feel like. I think, it's not, I don't think it's a legacy-enhancing match unless he wins it. Where he's like, yeah, I won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. that's just a nice little footnote to throw in there. Oh, what'd you do this year? Among, 1 year I closed in with a cash in. 1 year I beat Triple H. 1 year I won an Intercontinental title. Like, it's kind of like a footnote rather than a milestone, if you will.
And it sounds like a decline from over 3 years or over 4 years of WrestleMania, where it goes from winning the title, like having one of the best mid card matches in a WrestleMania ever, and then also capping it off with the greatest cash in of all time. Then it goes next year, you're injured and out, and then the next year after that, you fight Triple H in a match where where you're made to be just like the biggest like weakling ever, and then next year like you're in a 3-way with the Miz. Like, woo. I see like it looks like on the chart like it's going down as it progresses.
It's going down.
And
like
the weird
what?
thing is he's more over than he's ever been right now.
It's going down like Young Jock on the Titanic, in the words of Donald Pasco. What up, Donald? But yeah, man, this is like I don't know, man. Like, there's gonna be a lot of dudes getting fucked. But let's go to these questions. Dion says Shane versus Owens. It should be loser leave SmackDown with Owens representing Daniel Bryan.
God,
they'll mess around and look. Shane ain't going nowhere, so they'll mess around and beat Kevin Owens.
The way that this year has gone with SmackDown, it should be winner gets to leave SmackDown.
Oh my God! Did you see? You saw?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that it's funny that the U.S. Championship match between Owens and Jericho last year at WrestleMania was basically like a winner leaves town match, but like it sort of was that without the stipulation. Like, they may as well just go ahead and say like SmackDown's been so bad, like the winner gets to leave SmackDown.
Damn. So yeah, Dion says, with the recent success of the New Day and the Usos in one of the longest feuds in WWE history, what other superstars on the roster do you think can sustain such an engaging feud, including Sasha and Bayley's simmering feud? So New Day and Usos, they had their own thing. Go ahead, James. I'm scanning through the list right now.
I mean, you gotta have some. Cena and Miz. Cena and Miz could do it.
Cena and Miz.
Cena and Miz could have a like an 8-month long feud and make it work, and make it compelling. They could. I'm just trying to find guys I know can get all. I'm just trying to put tacos
check
together
all the
right
boxes, right?
Yeah.
I think you can look at whenever they want to pick up Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose again. I think that and with Dean Ambrose as a heel, that one is going to be one for the ages. They're already like a match made in heaven in the ring together. They both can talk, and then they've got the whole thing with the Shield, and those are the guys that everyone really likes out of the Shield. I think also
AJ thin over the Bullet Club stuff.
Yeah,
I think they could have a long running feud
if they go
where they just whose side is who on and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they can do that, and also like they can essentially allude to it without alluding to it. Like you started it, I took it. Like you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. Essentially, like with AJ and Balor. I think you got to look at Samoa Joe. He's got to be able to fight somebody that it might be really good with. I'd love to see an AJ Styles and Samoa Joe feud in WWE.
Remember last year how we were like, bring up Joe and given that what happened to AJ after Royal Rumble, we were like, bring up Joe and have him go against Joe. We do not want to shake shit at all. Please don't.
Yes. It's crazy.
I think there's another one. Roman and AJ.
Yeah, they can run it back, and I think
Roman and AJ with the Bullet Club and the Usos, they can absolutely have a absolute like war for months on end. Absolutely, they showed they could do it when they had their feud in 2016. Yeah. And I think that might be my favorite Roman feud.
It definitely ain't the Bray Wyatt feud. It definitely isn't the Brock Lesnar one. It's definitely not the Triple H one. It could be it. Yeah. So next question from Dion. He says, when famous athletes join WWE, do you think it hurts the athlete's credibility as they are now a sports entertainer? For me, I think it depends where the athlete is in their career. Like, if they're if they don't really offer much in the, like, for example, like, I don't know, LT, for example. Was he still playing football at that time, James, or was he, like, retired at that point?
And this is WrestleMania 11, right? So it's 95?
Yeah.
He was at the end.
Okay, if you're at the end, like, say, I don't know, say Ray Lewis, like, signed up to be, like, to come in and do something with WWE, right? I don't think that would, like...
I might stop watching.
Like, I don't think that adds anything. Not for WWE, not for Ray Lewis, but it depends. Like, someone like Rousey, for example, it's kind of a natural fit. So it kind of depends who you are and what stage of your career you're in, whether it will hurt your credibility. If you still have a lot to accomplish, I would probably stay away. Like, say LeBron showed up in WWE right now. Everybody be looking at LeBron like, what are you doing? Like,
like, why are you wasting your time with this foolishness?
Yeah. Now, like 5 years from now, like, say LeBron's retired. Couldn't LeBron James come in and be like, yeah, I'm going to do a WrestleMania? Sure. Will it have the same impact? Probably not, but it would probably do less as far as hurting his credibility.
Well, and also this other thing where, like, can't really be doing like WrestleMania during the NBA season,
Yeah.
It's kind of a schedule conflict. But yeah, I just looked at it. Lawrence Taylor retired in '93, so yeah, he was retired. I forgot. I knew he was retired around the mid '90s, so
okay.
I was kind of fuzzy on that.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to the show, do me a favor, share it on your timeline. We're trying to get more listeners. We're doing like a little pilot episode from the Social Suplex page, sharing it in the group and out the group, and trying to grow it a little bit. So if you guys can help us with that, we would appreciate it. Dion says, do you think part-timers are in it to help the business or get the quick paycheck?
You want me to go or you want to go?
Sure, you can go, James. I went first on the last one.
Okay, so I think obviously, this question is not really, is it one or the other, is which one is more important to the people. And I mean, I think it depends on the person. If it's Brock Lesnar, it's definitely about a check, right?
Yeah.
It's about putting a check next to a check next to a check. Or a check with a check with a check.
Yes.
If this was someone like John Cena, I can see John Cena, because he's there more, being more committed to the actual product on an everyday basis. At this point, with Undertaker, all this is back pay. All this is back pay. This is pretty much like he's $1 million once a year program thing. This ain't nothing but like the last few years of Kobe's deals, where it's like it's back pay. This for all I done accomplished.
Yeah.
It ain't about future. It ain't about what I'm getting paid, about what I'm doing right now. It's about what I've done for the organization.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I mean Jericho at this point, I believe he's company man, but I believe he's all about making himself the biggest star he can possibly be. He's just working on the legacy right now.
Right.
Jericho.
I think the money, like, you're not going to get Jericho for cheap, but he's also coming in
right.
to enhance like his legacy.
And the thing about that is, and that's okay, right? Like, it's okay for these dudes to want to come back and get themselves over or whatever else, if the TV is good, because if it's good TV, that means it also helps WWE. So that's the main focus. Like, it's them, certain guys want to come in or whatever else and only caring about and want to be basically mercenaries. I'm okay with that if the whole thing ultimately leads to good TV. Like, I don't think we should really be hung up on people's motivations as long as the end result is good TV.
Yeah. I agree. Simon says Batista and Chris Jericho to help the business. Everyone else finessing for the check. Jared says, look at the Women's Royal Rumble. A lot of returning stars that did it just for the business. I would be careful with thinking that, like, as far as, like, doing it just for the business, because none of them showed up for free. And if they did, I question them. Because I am all about people taking as much money as they can from Vince McMahon.
Wow.
That's just the way it is. You know, I've given him far too much of mine, and I have, you know, I need him to pay some of that out. And of course, this thing.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say to you, I thought that was funny. About like it's kind of messy. You just want Vince to come off his money, but it's like that man out here, you know, taking $100 million out just so he can buy a number 2 major football league. So he may as well shove it to other people as opposed to just flush it down the toilet like he's about to. So yeah, whatever. That'll make better use of it. Give it to your actual employees you already have to actually help you get that money, as opposed to people who are about to lose it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Vince, nah, bro. Get Vince McMahon's money any way you can, wrestlers. So, next, he says, Dion said, one last question. After The Undertaker finally retires, who will take the helm as the official wrestles only at WrestleMania person? See, I don't know if there's going to be one of those.
You sure? I mean, once Lesnar broke the streak, I always thought that the whole plan was for it to be to where this didn't happen, but I always thought the whole plan was, okay, from this moment forward, Brock Lesnar's the new Undertaker. He wrestles once a year or wrestles only a couple times a year. He's going to be the guy that basically is like the new standard for, you know, being this, you know, main attraction, larger-than-life type of thing. But I mean, he still sort of is, but like Undertaker decided to still keep coming back.
Yes.
So like it never was able to actually take hold. Maybe once Undertaker is gone, that can actually come into picture.
Yeah, maybe it's Triple H. It depends if he wants to keep doing it. I think he does, because, you know, why not put a check with a check?
And look at him.
Yeah, and he's
younger.
fucking jacked.
He's getting younger.
Like, bro, he's not moving the same as he was, but he's looking better than ever. Like, if you look at Triple H in 1997 and you look at him now, like, it makes no fucking sense, except it makes all the sense, if you know what I mean, right? Yeah, so, you know, you never know. Triple H might be on that list that's about to come out, and not Chris Jericho's.
I think Triple H is too smart to get caught up on a list like that. I think that man, you know, if he is getting something, I don't think he's paying for it with a check, and I don't think he's paying for it himself, and is also being delivered straight to his house. Like, he's not going to get caught up on that Peyton Manning where he has to come out and say, yeah, you know, it's for Stephanie. All this stuff for Stephanie. Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Triple H knows the rules of the game, you know, hence the nickname. Simon says, who will replace Rey Mysterio for New Japan Strong Style Evolved? So, James, I don't know if you've heard, but Rey Mysterio apparently tore his biceps recently in an indie match.
No!
Yep. So, all options are on the table right now. He could get surgery. He could tape it up and soldier through. I don't know what's happening. I saw a couple people online saying there is a Rey Mysterio WrestleMania time curse. He always gets hurt before WrestleMania, and this kind of, you know, plays into that. But I hope that he is able to compete at Strong Style Evolve. He takes the time off that he needs and then gets it fixed, because if you don't get that injury fixed, it'll atrophy, and then you can't fix it, like Tanahashi's in that situation right now. James, you look depressed.
I'm bummed out, man. Like, well, at least it wasn't his legs.
True.
Damn. I was really looking forward to seeing, like, Ray versus Liger.
I don't know who will replace him. I don't know who else is out on the the scene they can grab. Maybe they can make an emergency call to Jericho and say, hey, can you do the show and we can move that Naito matchup now to replace it? But I think Liger kind of deserves like an opponent. So I don't know. Like as far as like who they can replace him with. Just depends who wants to go get the check, and that seems to be the theme of the show today.
Yeah, dude, show's by the check.
Yep. Simon also says, will the induction of Kid Rock seal the deal on this Hall of Fame class being whack? Yes, it will. I don't plan on watching the ceremony. They're putting Kid Rock, who I don't really rock with, in there. Is bad enough we have to hear his theme song all the way to WrestleMania. When it was the deal with like last year, for example, like the Pitbull joint, I was like, oh, this is tight. I like this song. The whole build, the give me the green light, like, I can rock with that. But this Kid Rock shit, no.
I mean, given the Kid Rock stuff we've gotten for WrestleMania, like, this is the worst one. Like, the one he did, the Let's Celebrate joint for WrestleMania 30 was so much better than this one. But even besides the point, last year, I would not have watched if I had not known that Jim Cornette was going to be inducting the Rock and Roll Express.
Right.
So, this year we have Goldberg,
the Dudleys.
Who else? The Dudleys. Who else? Ivory.
Help us in the comment section. I don't know who else is all going in. Who's the fuck?
Completely blanking out.
Let's see.
They put the Godfather in already.
2018.
Trying to think who else are they putting in this thing that doesn't deserve to be in here. I don't know.
Okay, so they've got Ivory going in. They've got the Dudleys. They've got Goldberg. They've got, let's see. Damn, I just had it, but I lost it. 2018 Hall of Fame. Double J, Jeff Jarrett. How could we forget?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
That easy,
yeah,
apparently.
Man, like, who could possibly give a shit?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, besides Goldberg, who could possibly give a shit about this Hall of Fame this year?
I don't know. Some people are really into Ivory. I'm not, but...
I liked Ivory because Ivory was a good promo, a good heel promo, but I mean, and also like given the popularity of Glow on Netflix, the fact that she actually was a Glow alumni, that also looms large.
Yeah.
But that's really it. Like
I ain't signed up to watch no Jeff Jarrett. Like Jeff Jarrett has not drawn a dime in his career. He's not about to start now. Let's see. And Jarius is getting the Warrior Award. So, yeah. This is a real kind of thin class. I'm shocked they didn't want to put Daniel Bryan in this year. Going back to New Orleans.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's a shock. They didn't want to do that. But, apparently they know Daniel Bryan's about to start competing again rather soon. And, current WWE Hall of Famer that you walk away and let walk away, and he's probably gonna go tear it up. That probably doesn't look the best, does it?
And also another thing is, how they think. We give him a platform, then all of a sudden he'll be hotter to leave us. It's like, do y'all want to do the right thing or not? Like, if he can't wrestle for you, retire his ass, put him in the Hall of Fame, have his thing, and whatever else. Like, you brought back Flair when Flair was in freaking TNA. Like, there's a precedent for this.
Yeah. It's amazing. But yeah, last thing, Simon says, so when is he getting his induction to the WWE Hall of Fame since this shit is so easy now? I know Coco Beware's in there, but come on. So, Simon Cotton, for the WWE Hall of Fame, yes or no?
I mean, sure, why not? They're letting everybody in, why not? Why can't he get in?
Yeah. It looks like the live feed actually just dropped, but we were going to wrap this up anyway. So, this is Rich. Make sure you guys check out the rest of the shows on the network. Keeping It Strong Style, as well as the SMC podcast and the Ricky and Clive show. You can follow me on Anchor, where I've been dropping some, shorter episodes as well. LordsOfPain.net, I'm writing a bunch of columns. The one I wrote about the Usos is doing very well on there right now. Managed to escape most of the trolls. There was one that showed up. So, anything to add before we get up out of here, James?
No. Just interested to see what they do this week in wrestling. So, I think that now, after what happened on Monday and on Tuesday, I think we're now starting to get into actual, like, we're going to start getting real stuff to actually get to WrestleMania season. Like, we're starting to start getting angle shot and more stuff added to it. So, like,
Realness.
this is actually like time of year to check in for everybody that's really wants the actual, the real stuff. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Well, that's gonna wrap up the show. Let me know what you think about the new theme song and all that. We had a lot of listens last week. Thank you guys for listening and sharing with your folks. And make sure you guys keep rocking with us. We up out of here, man.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to One Nation Radio. We'll see you next time.